Imagine an ordinary day when the entire United Kingdom is suddenly thrust into a state of the highest alert. Every port, airport, and train station is placed on maximum vigilance. The reason is not a terrorist attack, but the disappearance of a single prisoner. His name is Daniel Khalife, and his journey is not a simple tale of a fugitive on the run, but a complex case interwoven with loyalty, personal ambition, and betrayal, becoming one of the most prominent treason cases in recent British history. On September 6, 2023, the world was stunned by the news that Daniel Khalife, a 23-year-old former British soldier, had executed an audacious and almost unbelievable escape from Wandsworth Prison, one of the country's most heavily secured facilities. Accused of passing sensitive documents to Iran and breaching the Official Secrets Act, Khalife became the focal point of a nationwide manhunt, capturing the attention of every media outlet and security agency. The incident was not only shocking due to Khalife's daring, but also because it exposed alarming security lapses in the UK prison system, raising public questions about the nation's safety. Daniel Khalife's story serves as a reminder that the world of espionage is not confined to glamorous Hollywood films. It can manifest in everyday life in the guise of a young soldier with an unremarkable appearance but harboring a complex scheme. His journey is a series of astonishing events, beginning with a challenging and inferiority complex-ridden childhood, leading to a promising military career, and then veering into a dangerous path of deception and betrayal. We will delve deep into Khalife's story, a tale both tragic and dramatic, from the pressures of family and society that shaped his character to the misguided decisions that led him down a criminal path, and ultimately to the prison escape that made him one of Britain's most wanted criminals. Daniel Khalife's story is not just about a treason case. It is also a story of an oversized ego, naivety, greed, and the consequences one must face when sacrificing everything to pursue blind ambition. Nagar childhood and family background. Daniel Khalife, born on September 27, 2001 in Marylebone, Westminster, London, grew up in an environment filled with contradictions. The area he lived in near Richmond Park in Kingston upon Thames was affluent, but his family's circumstances were the complete opposite. With an Iranian immigrant mother and a Lebanese father, Khalife carried a complex heritage that shaped his life in unexpected ways. Khalife's mother was a strong woman with staunch opposition to the Iranian regime. She raised Khalife and his twin sister in a close-knit but financially strained family. Their lives were further complicated by the unstable presence of his father, who often caused disruption and left deep emotional scars on the family. This turmoil negatively impacted Khalife's behavior and academic performance throughout his childhood. To ensure her children focused on their studies and stayed away from external temptations, Khalife's mother imposed strict rules, severely limiting his social activities. This made Khalife feel isolated and ashamed of his family's modest financial situation while living in an affluent area. Social pressure and feelings of inferiority led him to his first misstep. At 15, Khalife was caught using magnets to steal items from a shop, a first brush with the law that required him to attend a youth offender program. In an effort to help her children understand the value of life and recognize their Western privileges, Khalife's mother took him and his sister to visit Iran. This trip gave him a first-hand look at the hardships and injustices under the Iranian regime, reinforcing the anti-regime sentiments instilled by his mother. Khalife began to believe he could make a difference, an idea that would later become distorted and dangerous. The experiences of his childhood, from financial struggles, family trauma, social isolation to the trip to Iran, created a complex and conflicted individual. They fueled a burning ambition in Khalife, but also made him vulnerable to seeking misguided paths for escape. These foundations became the catalyst for his later decisions as he embarked on a military career and ultimately became an unwilling spy. Military career. In September 2018, just days before his 17th birthday, Daniel Khalife made a life-changing decision. He joined the British Army. Driven by a burning ambition, he aimed to serve in the Parachute Regiment, one of the most elite units, and eventually progressed to the Special Forces. This goal stemmed not only from patriotism, but also from a desire to escape his family's circumstances and prove his worth. However, a senior soldier quickly recognized Khalife's exceptional computer skills and advised him to pursue a path in the Royal Corps of Signals, a branch specializing in communications. Seeing a clearer path to advancement, Khalife accepted this advice. Khalife's military journey began at the Army Foundation College in Harrogate, where he completed a 23-week basic training course in February 2019. With his intelligence and quick wit, he quickly stood out in assessments. He then underwent specialized training at the Defense School of Communications and Information Systems in Blandford Forum, Dorset. There, Khalife achieved Security Check SC clearance, a significant step that granted him access to classified military documents. In March 2020, Khalife was posted to the 16th Signal Regiment in Stafford. He quickly demonstrated his outstanding abilities working with the Falcon satellite communication system. His dedication and talent were recognized when he was awarded Best Soldier in December 2020. His advancement was rapid. In February 2021, he was selected to participate in the warfighter exercise at Fort Hood, Texas, USA. There, his security clearance was upgraded to NATO Secret, allowing him access to highly sensitive NATO information. In September 2021, Khalife was promoted to Lance Corporal and selected for Phantom Troop, a specialized unit focused on sensitive communication systems. These early successes fueled his ambition to new heights, but also revealed his ego and underlying discontent. He began to feel superior to others, believing he deserved a larger role in the intelligence world. This combination of unchecked ambition and arrogance pushed Khalife down a dangerous path, leading to espionage and betrayal that no one could have foreseen. Espionage activities. Daniel Khalife's promising military career took a dangerous turn tainted by betrayal. Investigation reports later revealed that as early as October 2018, just a month after joining the Army, Khalife began searching for intelligence-related materials online. This behavior occurred before he faced any career obstacles, indicating early, sinister intentions. The first turning point came in April 2019 after Khalife obtained SC clearance. He established contact with an Iranian phone code +98 and a secretive identity labeled IR, possibly short for Iran, on his phone. Obsessed with a BBC interview featuring an Al-Qaeda double agent, Khalife devised a complex plan. He would pretend to work for Iran to gain money and information while secretly serving as a double agent for the UK. This was a delusional plan, reflecting the inexperience and oversized ego of a young man. Using Facebook Messenger, Khalife contacted Hamid Kashkavi, a figure linked to Iranian intelligence through the New Horizon organization. Posing as a disgruntled soldier willing to betray his country for money, Khalife's communications soon moved to Telegram, where he began creating forged documents. He used publicly available information from WikiLeaks and declassified CIA documents, even fabricating letters from senior British officials to deceive Iran. The ruse was so successful that in August 2019, Khalife received $15,000 at a covert drop-off point in a cemetery near Mill Hill Park, Barnet. As part of his double agent plan, Khalife attempted to contact British intelligence. In 2019, he sent an email to MI6 from an Apple store in Covent Garden identifying himself as a double agent, but received no response. His desperation and anxiety grew as he continued to contact MI5 in November 2021, revealing that he had been passing fake documents to Iran for 2 years. Yet again, his efforts went unanswered. The lack of response from British intelligence pushed Khalife down a more dangerous path. Believing he needed to prove his worth to gain attention, he engaged in serious espionage activities. In August 2020, Khalife attended a covert meeting in Istanbul, Turkey, where he handed over a USB containing encrypted military data. He even took 29 photos of sensitive equipment at Fort Hood, Texas, including network details and a new Falcon system. The pinnacle of his betrayal was collecting personal information on 15 SAS and SBS Special Forces soldiers, a severe breach of security protocols. This action endangered the lives of elite soldiers, showing how his initial naivety had turned into outright treason. Discovery and arrest. In December 2021, Daniel Khalife made a third attempt to contact MI5 through an unregistered phone, hoping to finally prove himself as a double agent. Unbeknownst to him, this desperate effort became the beginning of the end for his dangerous game. MI5 used the phone number to trace Khalife's identity and placed him under secret surveillance. Their investigation gradually unraveled the web of deception he had built from his contacts with Iran-aligned organizations to his collection of sensitive military documents. On January 6, 2022, while Khalife was on duty at Beacon Barracks in Stafford, a team of police and military officers swooped in. He was arrested for breaching the Official Secrets Act and terrorism-related charges. During interrogation, Khalife maintained his cover, claiming he was a patriotic double agent trying to serve his country. Despite the arrest, Khalife was released on bail to continue serving in the military while the investigation expanded. This was a fatal mistake. The arrest and investigation placed immense psychological pressure on Khalife. He began to fear that his espionage activities designed to impress British intelligence would be fully exposed. This fear, combined with frustration over his failed plan, drove him to a reckless decision. In a desperate attempt to prove loyalty to his Iranian handlers and leave evidence for investigators, Khalife constructed a fake bomb using a nitrous oxide canister and wires. He placed it on a desk in his barracks, accompanied by a forged note from his handler, implying he faced a choice between suicide or defection to Iran. This act was not only an attempt to stage a drama, but also a distorted cry for help. After planting the fake bomb, Khalife fled Stafford Barracks in January 2023. He lived in a stolen Ford Transit van containing a foldable bed, $8,000 in cash, and a notebook detailing his plans. He wandered through Staffordshire, living a fugitive's life. However, his escape was short-lived. On January 27, 2023, Khalife was spotted near a leisure center in Stone, Staffordshire. He was swiftly arrested, ending his brief escape. The police formally charged him with 3 offenses: passing information to an enemy under the Official Secrets Act, a terrorism charge related to collecting military information, and perpetrating a bomb hoax. Though discharged from the army in May 2023, Khalife continued to maintain his innocence. He was detained at Wandsworth Prison to await trial. No one could have predicted that this would not be the last time Daniel Khalife's name would dominate headlines. Prison escape and manhunt. On the morning of September 6, 2023, the world was stunned by an unbelievable piece of news. Daniel Khalife, who had been transferred to Wandsworth Prison to await trial, had vanished. This escape not only shocked the public, but also exposed almost unbelievable security lapses in what was considered a stringent British prison system. Khalife's escape plan was astonishingly simple. Using his job in the prison kitchen, he waited for a food delivery truck to depart. As the truck stopped, Khalife used kitchen trousers and a makeshift sling to strap himself to its undercarriage. The truck drove out of the prison's main gate without a thorough inspection and inexcusable oversight. Only one prison officer was supervising, and they failed to check the vehicle's undercarriage, a mandatory security procedure for all vehicles leaving the premises. Khalife escaped at Trinity Road, not far from Wandsworth Prison. He calmly rolled out from under the truck, discarded his prison clothing, and walked away nonchalantly. By the time the police and prison staff discovered his absence, 8 crucial minutes had passed. They immediately locked down the prison, but it was too late. Khalife was already on the run, becoming the target of a nationwide manhunt. News of the escape spread rapidly. UK ports and airports were placed on the highest alert with long queues and rigorous checks. The police launched a massive manhunt, mobilizing hundreds of officers to search for Khalife. While the nation was on edge, Khalife remained in West London, a bold and risky move. He demonstrated his cunning by purchasing new clothes to change his appearance, using a burner phone to avoid tracking, and constantly monitoring news about himself on his phone. This evasion showed that Khalife had a detailed plan, not merely an impulsive act. The police made a critical error when they detained a man resembling Khalife at a train station, wasting valuable time while Khalife continued to move and hide. The manhunt ended on the morning of September 9, 2023. A plainclothes police officer spotted a suspicious man cycling along the Grand Union Canal in Northolt. That man was Khalife. With his military training, Khalife attempted to resist when intercepted on a bridge. After a fierce struggle, the officer subdued him. Khalife was arrested and taken to Hammersmith Police Station for processing, ending his 4-day escape. Khalife's escape was not just a dramatic story, but also a wake-up call. It starkly exposed serious flaws in the UK prison system's security, particularly at Wandsworth. The case raised difficult questions about why a prisoner accused of treason was not more closely monitored and why basic security protocols were overlooked. Khalife's story will forever serve as a reminder of the importance of vigilance and how the smallest mistakes can lead to significant consequences, causing severe damage to national security. Trial and outcome. Following his final arrest, Daniel Khalife faced a tense and complex trial at Woolwich Crown Court in August 2023. This was where prosecutors and his defense team presented opposing arguments about his motives and actions, unveiling a mysterious and contradictory espionage story. The prosecutors representing the United Kingdom argued that Khalife was a traitor who deliberately provided sensitive information to a hostile foreign power, Iran. They presented compelling evidence, including messages, photographs, and computer data proving Khalife collected and shared classified information about military systems and special forces personnel. The prosecutors emphasized that Khalife's actions were not only illegal, but also posed a direct threat to national security and the lives of British soldiers. They highlighted his persistent efforts to gather information on SAS and SBS special forces, an especially grave offense. However, Khalife's defense lawyers offered a starkly different argument. They portrayed Khalife as an amateur double agent, a misguided patriot who placed himself in a covert mission to help his country. The defense claimed Khalife never intended to harm the UK. According to their argument, his contact with Iran was part of a ruse to gain trust and gather intelligence on Iranian operations, with the ultimate goal of passing it to British security agencies. Khalife himself testified at the trial, steadfastly claiming he was a misunderstood patriot. He argued that accepting money from Iran was only to bolster his credibility with his handlers, and that he had tried to contact MI5 and MI6 to report his entire plan. He even suggested that the authorities ignored his efforts, forcing him to continue his dangerous role. Khalife's testimony painted a picture of a lone spy abandoned by the country he sought to serve. However, this argument was forcefully rebutted by the prosecutors. They called it a sophisticated cover designed to mask his true traitorous actions. They pointed out that Khalife's attempts to contact British intelligence were unconvincing, and his actions, particularly collecting information on Special Forces soldiers, went far beyond the scope of a double agent. On November 28, 2024, after weeks of trial, the jury delivered its verdict. Daniel Khalife was convicted of breaching the Official Secrets Act and terrorism-related charges for providing information to Iran. However, he was acquitted of the bomb hoax charge due to insufficient evidence proving terrorist intent. Additionally, Khalife had pleaded guilty to escaping from Wandsworth Prison in a prior hearing. With this verdict, the judge announced that Khalife would face a lengthy prison sentence, and the final sentencing was postponed to February 3, 2025. During this time, Khalife was detained at Belmarsh Prison, a high-security facility. The trial's outcome marked the end of Khalife's amateur espionage journey, but also sparked a new debate about security lapses and how individuals like Khalife could be drawn into a dangerous world they hadn't anticipated. As impact and lessons. The Daniel Khalife case is not just a thrilling tale of a failed spy, but a stark warning to the United Kingdom about the security vulnerabilities within its systems. Khalife's audacious escape and espionage activities exposed a series of serious shortcomings, from prison security protocols to military recruitment and vetting processes. Security lapses. Khalife's escape from Wandsworth Prison became the centerpiece of an internal investigation, and the results shocked the nation. The failure of the vehicle inspection process was evident. That a prisoner accused of treason could escape by clinging to the undercarriage of a truck highlighted negligence and unprofessionalism in oversight. The incident forced the UK Ministry of Justice to review all security and prisoner monitoring procedures, especially for those detained for national security-related crimes. Moreover, Khalife's story raised profound questions about the military's recruitment and security vetting processes. Despite his Iranian heritage and early suspicious behavior, Khalife was allowed access to classified and even NATO information. This indicates a failure in risk assessment and personnel screening, particularly when foreign adversaries like Iran seek to recruit disaffected individuals or those with ties to their country. Impact on national security and diplomacy. Khalife's actions had severe consequences. His collection of personal information on 15 SAS and SBS Special Forces soldiers posed a direct threat to their lives and the operations of these units. Information about the Falcon communications system and drone plans could have caused significant harm to the UK's military capabilities if it fell into the wrong hands. Furthermore, Khalife's fabrication of diplomatic documents, particularly regarding the Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe case, interfered with sensitive UK-Iran negotiations, complicating an already tense relationship. AUN. Lessons from Ego and Ambition. Daniel Khalife's life is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition and an oversized ego. He was not a professional spy, but a young man deluded by his own abilities. His double-agent plan, inspired by movies, quickly crumbled under the harsh realities of espionage. His inexperience and desire for recognition pushed him down a dangerous path he hadn't anticipated. This story is a costly lesson not only for the military and security agencies, but also for young, inexperienced individuals with access to sensitive information. It demonstrates that in the world of espionage, naivety and delusion can come at the cost of freedom and even life. Conclusion. Daniel Khalife's journey is a complex story, not merely an espionage case. It is a series of personal tragedies and strategic missteps, from a young soldier with grand ambitions to a convicted traitor. Khalife's story vividly reflects the complexities of loyalty, the impact of family circumstances, and the consequences of blind ambition. The case had a profound impact. Khalife's escape not only shocked the public, but also forced the UK government to reassess its entire security processes in the military and prison systems. It serves as a warning about the threat posed by amateur spies driven by self-delusion who can cause significant harm to national security. Ultimately, Khalife's story is a reminder that in the world of intelligence, the line between patriot and traitor can be razor thin, and a single wrong decision can destroy an entire life. If you find Daniel Khalife's story compelling and want to explore more cases, conspiracies, and untold secrets, make sure you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Each story is a thrilling journey, unveiling hidden corners of history and intelligence conspiracies. Subscribe to the channel now, click the bell icon to receive notifications for new content. And don't forget to like this video and leave a comment below to discuss the lessons from Daniel Khalife's journey together. Your support motivates us to keep bringing you more captivating stories.